Guys, we are at it again with more paper tuning data between the recurve and the compound. We are on the science bus to figure out which weapon, the recurve bow or the compound bow, is going to give us the cleanest launch flight. We want the cleanest flight at launch, lowest launch yaw possible. Is it going to be the recurve? Is it going to be the compound? Compound's more mechanically sophisticated, recurve's more simplistic. More mechanics could be beneficial, or a simpler design could be more beneficial. We want to know at launch who's going to have the cleanest bullet hole. So far, we're kind of at a dead nuts tie, though the compound is getting more consistently cleaner holes. But I think that could be trained out. In other words, if I'm just shooting one bow, the one gun philosophy, as it were, I could get much more repeatable, much more consistent, and therefore produce more consistent, clean bullet holes. So let's give this a whirl. We're going to go back to the 2600 grain arrow, because realistically, that's probably about as heavy of an arrow as I'd shoot, as well as the 500 grain 200 spine. Super stiff arrow. The 2600 grain arrow is a 150 spine. So those are the two arrows we're kind of interested in testing. And we will be using this kind of paper. It's super flimsy. So it's flimsier than your standard, your standard 8x11 sheets of paper. They're a little bit thicker, so thicker paper tends to show a cleaner hole. It has more resistance to stay together as the arrow's passing through it. So we want to capture as much yaw as possible, so we want that paper to be super flimsy and flappy, as it were. Up first is the recurve, and we are going to be using the TrueFire thumb button, because this release has given us the cleanest holes so far. And I have the trigger kind of back far. It's easier to get. I have been getting surprise releases with this, which is incredible because you're holding so much weight at full draw. To be able to relax your finger and to get that surprise break is pretty insane. I think I could do it, but I'm doing it. So it's definitely harder to do consistently, but again, that could be trained out. So TrueFire thumb button hook style. And then with the recurve, we'll be using the hinge, because we've gotten the cleanest holes at launch with the hinge, surprisingly, even though we were bare shafting that not very well. But I think I was torquing it, which I think I figured out how to get past that. And again, that can be trained out. So let's go. We're working the 2600 grainer first. And we do want to wear safety glasses because this arrow is fully loaded with brass weights from tip to nock. First shot, not the cleanest, but also not the messiest. Yeah, this paper is super supple compared to the 8x11 standard printer paper. Shot 5, consistently bad. So, and they're not terrible. I've seen worse. And none of those shots were surprises. So there's that to consider. Boy. Okay, back to the recurve. All right, this is the one we just did with compound. It's definitely the best one so far, but definitely not perfect, but it's pretty clean for this paper. This paper is really hard to get a clean bowl on. Boy, that is super close to what we want. And wiggling it, it's not moving. Oh, geez, la pique. Ooh, it's pretty close.